Hey loves, my name is Ofune and I'm the founder of Coco Swatches. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about these foundations here, the Beauty Bakerie Cake Mix. Oops, you guys can't see it. There we go. The Beauty Bakerie Cake Mix foundation that is launching today or is launching tomorrow, depending on which day this video is going to go up. But this is amazing feat for Beauty Bakeries. Their second complexion products after their I have here their Cake Face Concealer. So this is a new addition to the suite. So I'm going to demo the foundation for you all and show you guys how I use it, some tips and tricks, and my final thoughts. So if you're interested in this foundation, interested in buying it on the day that it comes out, and you want to find out more, please stay tuned and keep on watching. So I'm going to start by priming my face with the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Pro Filter Primer. I think that they recommend that you use an oil with this foundation prior to applying it, but I feel like whether you're using oil or a moisturizer, as long as your face is properly moisturized, you shouldn't have a problem with applying this foundation. So I like to just moisturize my face however I feel like doing it that day, or whatever your normal routine may be. So that might be an oil, or it could just be like, you know, a normal moisturizer, and then also using a moisturizing primer. So this is the primer that I'm going to be using today. I'm just going to be applying this to the face with my hands. So if you follow me on Instagram or you have downloaded the Coco Swatches app, you've probably already seen swatches of this foundation, but I'm still going to do a couple of live swatches for you just to demo and see, so you can see how they work. So I have the shades 15 here and 17. Those are the shades that closest match my complexion. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch them on the side of my face. So let's start with 17, which is actually the shade I'm going to be using today. So this is 17. Notice how like it comes out really light, but as I start to blend it in the face, it like blends into my skin tone. So that's 17, that's the shade I'm going to be using, and then let's go ahead and swatch 15. So 15 is a lot more neutral and it's a little bit lighter, so it kind of matches like the middle of my face, whereas the 17 matches the perimeter. So I don't know if you guys can see the difference. So I'll be the first to say that I'm an avid beauty blender user and lover, beauty sponge, whatever you want to call it. But with this foundation specifically, I personally prefer to use a brush. I just find that it's easier to blend that way and layer. So that's just my personal preference, and I find that it's just easier to work with that way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm using a flat kabuki brush from Royal and Langnickel, and I'm just going to go ahead and actually dip it in on my hand. I'm dipping the brush in the product and then applying it to my face. You can always like apply the oh my gosh, there's like a hair. You can always apply the product first to the face, but this formula does dry down fast, so if you do decide to do that, it's best to work in sections. So I'm just going ahead and working in sections, kind of dragging. I think you can also use a circular motion, but as you move the product, the true color begins to form and it begins to set. So this is the finished application of the foundation. I have about 1.5 to 2 pumps on the face. A little does go a long way, and like I said, I really enjoy the way that it applies when I use a brush. When I use a sponge, because it is waterproof, sometimes if your beauty blender or beauty sponge is too damp, it doesn't mix well with this waterproof foundation formula. So that's why I just find with a brush it just works, and there's just no hassle or any kind of confusion or whatever. It just pump it in the brush or on your hand and apply to the face, and you should be good to go. So this is a finished application. So next I'm going to go in with the Beauty Bakerie concealers and show you guys how I apply those. So I'm going to be using You Mocha Me Crazy to contour and You're Beautiful to highlight. So I'm going to start off with the contour shades, and I'm just going to contour my cheeks and my jaw This formula also dries down fast, so you're going to want to work in sections or work pretty quickly. So even though I applied this straight to the face, I'm just going to go right ahead and start blending using a brush again, because this formula also has like, it also kind of changes in color once you start to blend, or not changes, but like the color in the bottle is a little bit different than what it actually blends out to. So as you can see, this color blends out to a quite deep brown color, kind of a cool brown that makes for a good contour shade. So if you don't want, or you want to control how much you apply, you can always, and I'll do that for the other side, you can apply some to the back of your hand and then just do it like how we applied the foundation. So I'll do that for the other side, at least for the cheekbone. So I'm just going to go ahead and start to blend that in. And once it sets, it's like not budging. So that's why it's just best to work in sections, because it dries down fast and you don't want to have to rush. Gonna add some of that on the jawline. So this is the contour. So for the highlight, since this formula is a little bit more of a matte formula, a little bit more dry formula, if you don't like the type of formula around your eyes, you might want to actually prime your eye area. And the way that I do this is I use the Ola Banana Bright Eye Cream on top of my foundation before my concealer. So I just use my finger and just apply and press in a little bit under the eye before going in with the concealer. So just press, because we haven't added any powder, it's like, it's still like creams on creams and liquid, so it should be fine. This is before like you do any baking or anything like that. So now I'm gonna add your Beautiful, and again, working in sections. I'm actually gonna just add it right here because this foundation spreads pretty far. You don't need that much. And you can see it's kind of like a very light shade, but when I'm going to use this brush because I don't want like the contour color to mix in with this. But it has a more of a yellow undertone once it's blended out. And you can see like that blended out pretty easily with the brush and on top of the eye cream. Not hard to move around at all. This is the highlighted side, not the highlighted side, so you can definitely see the difference. So this is the finished application with the highlight and contour and cake base. So we got a cake mix and we got the cake base concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and set this with powder, finish the rest of my face, and we can come back and chat some more. So this is the finished look of the cake face foundation and the cake face concealer cake mix foundation. So let's just chat a little bit. What I really like about this foundation is that you can get a natural looking matte finish without having to do too much. I have combination oily skin, so this type of foundation really works for me because it like mattes you down but doesn't look too cakey, and it's easy to layer this foundation so that you can get more coverage where you need it. I have a pretty good shade range. There's 30 shades in total, and they go from really, really light to super, super dark. Again, if you don't follow me on Instagram or have the app, I'll post a link somewhere where you can see the swatches. At least I have the deepest 10. So I'm number 17. The deepest number actually starts at number 1, which is also super cool. I think that oftentimes we're always seeing the darker shades of the last shades, or the last ones to come out, or the last ones to be thought of. So it's cool that it's this very small change, but it's very important. It's showing that like you don't always have to do things that way where the darker shades are thought of first. So in this instance, the darker shade is actually number 1. And it goes lighter down from there. So darker shade is number 1 and I'm number 17. So that says a lot between me and the darkest shade. There are so many other shades to choose from. And yeah, so the formula I really like. I am looking at my face right now and it looks pretty flawless. This is how I do Ugh. I did my makeup today how I would normally do it. The only thing that I skipped was doing the powder before foundation because this is already a pretty mattifying foundation. I didn't feel like adding the powder before was necessary. I have added powder before this foundation another time trying it, and it works completely fine. I just noticed that with and without, I didn't see much of a change. So I just kind of know that when I have this foundation on, I don't necessarily have to do the powder before foundation unless I'm like, you know, doing some heavy duty makeup. I think this product is really cool and unique. You might not use it in the way that you use a normal foundation, but that doesn't mean that it's not usable. It just means that you just kind of have to change the way you use it. Like I said, I prefer using a brush, but I typically use a beauty sponge. I have brushes. It's not a big deal for me to use a brush one day and use a beauty sponge another day. Same thing with the concealers. Once you, if you do that, if you apply the concealer, you know, one side at a time, blending out right after you apply it, it applies and blends out pretty well, as you guys saw. And if you are like me and you don't like a lot of dryness under the eyes, you can put, you probably could even use that fancy primer or something else before using it, and it's just going to glide right on and blend in with your foundation, and you can bake or powder or set it however, and it's going to be fine because it like the foundation, the concealer is also like this matte waterproof formula. So once it's there, it's there. It's not going anywhere, which is, you know, once everything is settled down, that's the pro of this foundation and this concealer. You know, it's going to last you all day. So today I got a late start. It's already 5:20. I'm gonna insert a picture here of what I look like at the end of the night so you guys can see what the wear of it is. But from what I know from this foundation, I've worn it a few times now, and I pretty much look pretty good. I already kind of know what my thoughts are going to be, but I definitely want to show you guys what I look like. But as far as my thoughts, it's pretty long lasting for someone who has combo oily skin. I do get a little bit oily in the T-zone, but you know, no more than normal, probably a little bit less than normal actually, and everything else still looks flawless. So I'll insert the picture of the photo or the video, whichever one I get to doing around, you know, 11-12 a.m. tonight to show you what it looks like. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this foundation formula. It comes out, I think this video is going to come out on either the day before it comes out or the day it comes out, so you should definitely check this foundation out. The founder of this foundation, founder of this brand, Beauty Bakerie, Cashmere, she's a black woman. This is a black owned business, and she just done an amazing job. She's working on this foundation for a long time. Anyone who knows anything about like creating complexion products knows that it's really, really hard to create complexion products from scratch. And also, I mean, as a consumer, you know how many of these brands are getting these undertones, making us look gray, making us look orange, making us look ashy, etc., green, all different types of crazy. So making 30 shades of foundation that actually match people's skin tones, not just 30 shades that, you know, are kind of random, is a big feat. So congratulations to her. Hopefully you all liked this little demo and review, and we'll go check out the foundation. So yeah, like I said again, Swatches, if you need help finding your shade, I think they have a foundation finder where they compare the shades they have to other popular foundations, and those shades, I'll have Swatches in the app, and they're on Instagram already. If you follow me there, you can find them there. I think that's it. I hope you guys liked today's video. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video. It really, really helps trying to get this YouTube channel on and popping. So please, if you love this video, please support us, like and subscribe. And I thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.